Hey guys, finally back with another division predictions. I've been a little unmotivated to do these. I got another highlight video coming out. I've been really excited working on all those. This one's going to be Tariq Cohen. I'm going on vacation over the next week, so I'm going to schedule that video to come out probably Sunday or Monday. So you guys have at least one video while I'm out over vacation. I'll continue and finish the final three division predictions once I'm back, and then we can go and work on some more fun overall stuff. My camera just froze, so we're gonna move on to the video. Thank you guys all for watching, and you get to enjoy this little still of me right here. Alright, so we got the Las Vegas Raiders coming in fourth. I really don't like this team. I know Raiders fans always try to tell me that this team's going to be good. I don't think they have a single good corner on their roster. I think their safeties are really young. I think their linebackers are really overrated. I think their defensive line is okay, but it's not some special thing. And I really their wide receivers. What's their wide receiver? Henry Ruggs? Did they sign a wide receiver this offseason? John Brown, I guess. They don't have a true number one receiver. Josh Jacobs and Kenyon Drake. Josh Jacobs isn't very good. Kenyon Drake isn't super good. Their offensive line's been gutted, so it's going to be new. I don't think it's going to be horrible, but it's going to be new. It'll take some time to get used to. And I think the only reason this team will finish with above 6 wins is Derek Carr plays so well that Gruden gets to keep his job. But I don't even think that's going to happen with how poor the supporting cast is. Overall, I don't think the Raiders are going to win very much. I think they're going to start, 0-6. They beat Philly, beat the Giants. They always beat KC one year, especially when it's in Vegas. I think they'll get that upset win. They'll beat Cincy, and Raiders fans will be like, oh my god, we're 4-5, we're back! And then they're going to lose another set right here. So they do beat the Chargers week 18. I do have that because they're resting starters. But overall, Derek Carr, MVP, Offensive Player of the Year. Yannick Ngakoue, their free agent signing, will be their Defensive Player of the Year. Trayvon Moehrig will be their Rookie of the Year, by far their best draft pick. And then Henry Ruggs had a pretty bad rookie year. He has nowhere to go from up, so he will take on that role as the most improved player. Quickly, on the predictions side, the Raiders' defense is ranked in the bottom 5, 100% possible. Carr plays well enough to keep his and Gruden's job. That is also very possible. And then the Bolts prediction, Raiders' offensive line is worst in the league, and Jacobs only has 900 total yards. The Jacobs part's a lot more believable because I feel like Kenyon Drake, who was his former teammate at Alabama, is going to take away some of his snaps. So if they do have the worst offensive line, this is completely possible with 2 splitting running backs. Overall, I do think they'll be 5-12. I do think they'll be 4th in the division, and they'll have the 5th overall pick in this upcoming draft. So not the season the Raiders will be looking for, but hey, maybe with the 5-12 record, John Gruden gets fired and you get a new head start. All right, the Broncos. I think the Broncos are going to be like if the 2018 Bears were in a good division. If the 2018 Bears division wasn't all below 500, I'm sure they would have had around a 500 record as well. But here we go, the Broncos. They do start off with a win against the Giants. They lose to Jacksonville. I talked about that in the Jacksonville video. But overall, I think Jacksonville's defense is actually enough to stop Drew Lock and company. They beat the Jets. They play Pittsburgh and Baltimore, 2 really tough teams. They'll lose both of those. They will beat Vegas like we just saw. Lose to Cleveland, lose to Washington again. I think they're pretty much just going to lose to the good teams besides Detroit and then beat the bad teams. And if you want to give them that Detroit victory, I just think, Detroit, very good at running the ball. Denver's strength is really in the secondary and not really in their front 7. Who are the Denver Broncos linebackers this year? Josie Jewell, Alexander Johnson. Like, they're not some spectacular unit, so I think running the ball is going to be easy. I think Detroit's running the ball 30 times a game. That's why they're winning that. Chargers win twice. Kansas City wins. They also will be one of the teams beating Kansas City once. I think right here. And that's because of playing in Mile High. And really, this should probably be switched where Week 18 is starters. subbed, and Week 13's in Kansas City, so I would probably switch that if I redid this. But technically, I made this 2.5 weeks ago, and I'm just now using it. So we'll probably end up actually switching that. But overall, Broncos, Justin Simmons, he's best overall defensive back in the league. I think he can play corner, safety. I think he'll be their MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. Garrett Bowles, Offensive Player of the Year. One of the better underrated offensive linemen in the league. I don't think it'll be Drew Lock, because he's bad. I don't think it'll be Bridgewater because he's bad. I don't think it'll be any of the receivers because they have bad quarterbacks throwing to them. And it could honestly be the running backs, but I think running back is dependent on offensive line. So I'm going to give this to Garrett Bowles. And that's also like Quinn Miners as your Offensive Rookie of the Year over Javonte Williams. I think he's going to be amazing. That was a really steal of a pick. The most improved player, Draymond Jones, has a really good chance of breaking out with Chubb and Von Miller back in the lineup. And overall, Broncos 8-9, easily could be 9-8 if you flip the Detroit game, and I might end up doing that in my revision video, which will come out at the very end of every single division, just my revisions that I've done. Where I'll be talking about Julio Jones and such. But overall, 8-9 record, third in the division, top 15 draft pick. If you switch this to 8-9, they would have the 10 seed in the conference behind the Chargers, who we're about to talk about. Holy shit. The Chargers, who will be right ahead of them. The Patriots will be right ahead of them, and they'd have the 9 seed. I don't know. I don't think anyone else was ahead of them. So Broncos would be the 9 seed if they were 9-8. We're done talking about the Broncos. We're talking about the Chargers here. Quickly looking at their schedule, looking at their losses because everything else is pretty much a win. Cleveland and Baltimore, 2 of the top 5 teams in the entire league. They'll lose those. Kansas City, again, top 5 team in the league. They'll lose that. Washington, I think their defense is immense. I think it'll be Chargers' first game with a new head coach on the road, so I think that'll be a loss. And then outside of that, lost to Minnesota just with their ability to run the ball. Plus, they know Brandon Staley very well, so I think they'll be able to go on and win that. And then the Giants, another very defensive team. I needed to get some upset wins throughout here, so the Giants. And then I think they'd be resting their starters on a loss to Vegas. I already said that. And that's overall their schedule. Overall, Justin Herbert, MVP and Offensive Player of the Year for this team. Defensive Player of the Year, easily could have given it to Joey Bosa, could have given it to Kenneth Murray. But I do think Derwin James, as well as Asante Samuel Jr., will be creating one of the best defensive back cores in the entire league. And he's also the most improved player because he missed last season. So the Chargers' offensive line finishes top 5. Slater, Lindsley, Balaga, an amazing core of players. They're going to really like their offensive line moving forward. Brandon Staley leads the Chargers' defense to finish top 5 in the league. Love Brandon Staley. Kind of wish he had stayed and became our defensive coordinator after Fangio left. But Brandon Staley going to do an amazing job. And then boldest prediction doesn't really count now, but I was too lazy to go back and do this. My boldest prediction was that they traded 2 third-rounders and Mike Williams for Julio. But let's just say they trade Mike Williams and 2 third-rounders for who is another receiver that might want out. Let's just say Mike Evans, for all I know. Who cares? Boldest prediction doesn't really matter. If I had to make one off the fly here, it would be that Justin Herbert throws for 5,000 yards and wins MVP. But I don't think that'll happen this year. I think we'll actually see a little bit of... He'll have around the same stats, but that'll be kind of a regression for him. Overall, 10-7 record, 2nd seed in the division, and 7th seed in the conference. They barely squeak into the playoffs in a tough AFC. And then finally, whatever. We've already covered all their losses. So I did an oopsie here. I accidentally had them losing to Denver twice on here. They don't lose to Denver twice. They lose to Denver once, and it is Week 18. So Week 13, that's supposed to be a W. But again, all 3 of these being away. This would probably be resting starters, and these teams always seem to beat the Chiefs at home. Overall, again, Mahomes is your MVP, Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, I think it's the best player in that defense, Tyrann Mathieu. Rookie of the Year, Cornell Powell will be stepping into that Demarcus Robinson role. I think he'll actually end up taking that job from him. And then most improved player, McCole Hardman, also has to step up on the ladder, with no Sammy Watkins. So, I think you're going to see that offense probably be at the top 5 offense again, but just with different faces leading it. And then, again, predictions. Tooney, Long, Humphrey, Orlando Brown, and Lavisky Tardif form the best offensive line in the league. Mahomes barely gets sacked. Bold prediction is Mahomes throws for 5,000 yards the second time and wins MVP. 100% possible. And the third prediction is Clyde Edwards-Helaire has 2,000 total yards and wins Offensive Player of the Year for the entire league. A lot of Chiefs fans expected that last year after his first game. I don't think he'll get that. That's why it's the boldest prediction. Overall, Chiefs with a 14-3 record. They'll be the first seed in the conference, and they'll be the first seed in the division as they look to make a third straight Super Bowl and win Mahomes his second ring before his contract really kicks in. Overall, that's the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check for that Tariq Cohen highlight video coming out in a few days while I'm on vacation. I'll see you guys back in person on Friday of next week. So I'll see you guys then. Peace.